Peace. I just wanted to take a moment and just build a little bit about today's mathematics, which is culture or freedom. That's the fourth. And when we talk about culture, we're talking about one's way of life. We're also talking about every aspect of a person's people activity. So your culture consists of your diet, how you define relationships, the way that you dress, um, every aspect of your people activities is a part of your culture, and everyone has the freedom to express their culture or the way that they live in the way that they would like. It does not mean that there's no consequences to it, but it does mean that a person has the ability to think for themselves and define the way that they live according to what they see as best fit. There are always going to be consequences, but everyone has that freedom to find out what those consequences are. Now, as 5%ers of gods and nerfs, one of our talking points is that we strive to teach and educate others. And that is something that is fundamental to our culture or our way of life. And having that particular posture towards others, that means everyone has an opportunity to see the way that we live, and they oftentimes may become familiar or have a level of expectancy of the things that we will and won't do. They may see that there's certain things that we don't eat. They may see that there's certain things that we don't involve ourselves in, and in doing so, people who are observing us may oftentimes take for granted the things that they see us do because there's a level of familiarity there. And one of the things that we also teach is that 85% of the population, or the majority of the masses of people, do not want to learn who is causing everything to happen in their life by allowing us to teach them. So what that actually means is the majority of the time, people who observe the things that we do, they're not necessarily serious or committed to learning about doing the exact same things. That doesn't stop us or infringe upon our ability to continue living the way that we live. But what that does is it tells us that the majority of the time, people that we come in contact with are not really serious about growth and development in the same way that we are, which means some people may learn some of the values and the principles that we have and adapt to that in order to bring about solutions in their life. And you rarely have people who strive to adopt the principles and values that we have in order to bring about solutions in their life. And the more that you do, if you're a 5%, or if you're God and Earth in a local level, and people may know you just in that particular, you may have that critical mass of people who recognize what you do, you're going to have a certain level of familiarity or apathy that 85% of that population has towards you. As you expand your networks and you become more notable regionally or nationally or even internationally, that only expands that 85% network, which means you're going to come in contact with many more people who are not really serious about growth and development. And that's something that just naturally comes along with the territory. And I'm sharing this just to remind you that being frustrated, going through, people not really striving to, add on and things along those lines is not something that is rare, but it's something that's comes along with that path. I've been doing this for quite some time, so you can't imagine the amount of people that I come in contact with that say, they willing and ready to learn something, and it never pans out because the majority of the time people are not really striving to learn to do like you. And where I live at, there may be people that live on the other side of town, but they can't get themselves together to coordinate a time to meet me at the local library, whereas I have people that come from out of state or even out of the country to just invest a couple days with me in order for me to take them to the local library, and I could show them different resources, and they're that serious and committed to growth and development. At the same time, I have people who've had my phone number, or people who have some type of direct access to me, but are not utilizing that resource, whereas I have people who contact me in a time zone several hours away or overseas on a consistent level, just so that they could communicate with me because they see value in what it is that I do. So, I say that to emphasize the fact that, some of the frustrations some of you are dealing with, the inconsistencies that you see people deal with that don't prioritize what it is that they say they really want to learn. That's something that just naturally comes along with the territory. You know, you're going to have those select people who come and take serious what it is that you do, that see true value in the way that you live and in your culture. And when they do come along, you recognize them. You know, everybody's not built, hey, what's going on, to learn what it is that you see value in. And that's just something that is the way that it is. So I will, this was inspiring, it was empowering, it was educating for those of you who may be going through it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I understand. You know, I got people that reach out all the time. And, you know, rarely do I have those people who really take it serious the same way that I take serious growth and development. Peace.